What's up gamers, in today's video I'm going to be talking about the father of all fathers, Arlecchino. I'm going to be filling you in on everything you need to know about her and her kit. Also, if you're interested in discussing Arlecchino dreams and stuff I'm not allowed to show on YouTube, check out the Discord server. Anyway, since I hate long intros, and I know you probably do too, let's get straight into the video. Arlecchino is a 5-star pyro main DPS character and seems really focused on doing a ton of damage. She's actually a pretty special character when it comes to her kit because she's the first character to use the Bond of Life mechanic. Now for those of you who have no idea what the Bond of Life is, it's basically a second health bar that a character can get from either the annoying Fatui enemies or these two weapons. It essentially absorbs the healing effect a character receives. Now, in order to remove Bond of Life, the character must be healed for an amount equal to the Bond of Life. So if my boy Aether has a Bond of Life of 1000 HP, if he gets healed by 1000 HP, it won't go towards him as a character, but to his Bond of Life. And once this happens, it just says bye-bye. Now how she uses this is she gains damage bonuses based on how much Bond of Life she has. If she has 30% Bond of Life, she will get a Pyro Infusion on her normal attacks, which can be overridden. And when you hit enemies, her attack will be multiplied by how much Bond of Life you have. Now all these bonuses sound pretty good, but keep in mind that hitting an enemy will deplete her Bond of Life faster than you deplete fried chicken when you see it. That's right, she loses 5.5% of her Bond of Life every attack you do. Now at this point, you might be wondering how to get Bond of Life. Well, in order to understand how to get Bond of Life, you're going to need to know about Blood Debt, and in order to know about Blood Debt, you're going to need to know about her skill. Yeah, she has a lot of things in her kit. Let's start with her skill. What it does is it erases all the Bond of Life you currently have and heals you for the amount erased. So if you have 20% Bond of Life, by tapping her skill, you will heal for 20% of her HP. And then after that, she will dash at the enemy and slash them with a pretty decent AoE. Again, if you want to see this, check out the Discord. Now after the enemies get hit by her slash, she will apply Blood Debt. And what it does is damage. It does damage every 3 seconds and ticks 3 times. Now if the enemy has Blood Debt on them and you do a charge attack, you will then get some Bond of Life. The amount that you get depends on her first passive, since Blood Debt has different stages. On its first stage, she will gain 20% Bond of Life after doing a charge attack. On the second stage, she will gain 25% Bond of Life, and lastly on the third stage, she will gain 70% Bond of Life. These stages depend on its ticks, because it ticks 3 times, and as I said, there are 3 stages. The 70% Bond of Life is insane because it's just so high, but do note that after the first 20%, you will have to wait 3 seconds to get the 25% bond, and then another 6 seconds to get to 70%. So if you want your Arlecchino to do fat damage in the abyss, you're going to have to spare 6 seconds since she likes taking her sweet time. Hold that thought. I know I got some speedrunners concerned, but the other way to not wait a whole 6 seconds is by killing an enemy. If you kill an enemy with Blood Debt, you'll get to 80% Bond of Life easy. Now for her second passive. It basically just gives 1% damage resistance for every 100 attack she has over 1000. So for example, if she has 2.7 attack, she'll get a 70% resistance to damage increase, and this caps a 3000 attack, which will give her 20% damage resistance. Now comparing her passives to other characters' passives, she obviously has really good ones. I don't really see a problem with both her first and second passive, and I think that they're actually pretty beneficial for her kit. But lastly, let's talk about her elemental burst. Her elemental burst is very similar to Chiori's. She simply just does big damage. It has an energy cost of only 60, which means she won't need a ton of energy recharge to consistently do her burst off cooldown. It also has a 15-second cooldown and gives 15% Bond of Life. Now the important part to know about her burst is the fact that it gives 15% Bond of Life. The reason as to why it's important is because when you do charge attacks and normal attacks to get Bond of Life, you get a max of 80%. Now since her burst gives 15% Bond of Life, if you've already reached the 80% limit, you can then do her burst and then get to 95%. And more bonds equals more damage, and more damage equals happy Genshin player. Also, if you're enjoying the video, wanna like, subscribe, and join my Discord down below. I have a super fun community, I host giveaways, talk about leaks, Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, and so much more. It's literally a server I would recommend anyone to join. If you also want to see Arlecchino dreams, which I'm not allowed to show on YouTube, you'll be able to see them just by clicking the link in my description. It literally only takes 1 second to join, and I know that you'll love it in there. So why not? Anyway, let's talk about her talent priorities. Her normal attack is her most important talent because that's where all her damage is coming from. Plus, the Bond of Life effect and damage bonuses only apply to her normal attacks, which further confirms the fact that they should be prioritized first. Secondly, you should prioritize her burst or her skill at the same time. Maybe her burst first because it does a ton of damage, but all in all, do this. Let's now get into the last section of the video, her best teams. Now her best teams are going to be a little different from most characters' teams because she can't receive any healing from other characters. For some reason, father rejects healing just like how your father rejected you. She probably won't pair the best with Frina because Frina will always be draining her HP. Arlecchino will always be at low HP, and this means that she won't be able to get fanfare. Now Arlecchino can heal herself, which will generate some fanfare, but it won't be enough. But at the same time, Arlecchino isn't the only character in the team, so other characters can generate some fanfare, but definitely not the max amount. With that being said, if you want to run her with Frina, then her best team would be, surprise surprise, a double Hydra team with Xianyun. The main purpose of Arlecchino in this team is just to do damage, but Xianyun can generate fanfare, which can help the team with damage. Although Arlecchino doesn't fully take advantage of Frina like how Raiden or Hu Tao would, this team is still an option. But for her actual best team, she has a few good options. You can either go with an Overload team or a Mono Pyro team or another Vape team. The Vape team will consist of Arlecchino, Yelan, Bennett, and Kazuha. The reason this is better than a standard double Hydro Vape team with Xingqiu and Yelan is because Arlecchino's scales of attack and Bennett can provide attack buffs as well as healing for the entire team, while Kazuha can swirl Pyro, carry VV, and provide damage buffs, while Yelan can allow Arlecchino to vape some of her hits. If you use the normal Vape team with Xingqiu and Yelan, then you won't be using your characters efficiently since Hu Tao would be much better than Arlecchino in this team. Now for the Overload team. Bennett just buffs Arlecchino's damage. Fischl provides Electro and an insane amount of off-field damage, which allows for the Overload reaction to take place, while Chevreuse just does Chevreuse things. She literally helps with Pyro Shred from off-field and helps with any energy issues that your Arlecchino might be facing. The only problem is that you might be knocking the enemies back, which is annoying because this team also doesn't have Giga Chad Kazuha. Lastly, let's bring the Mono Pyro team into consideration because this team can actually work well with Arlecchino. The best Mono Pyro Arlecchino team is with Xiangling, Bennett, Arlecchino, and Kazuha. It's a good team because Xiangling provides AoE, Bennett provides attack buffs for these two, and Kazuha provides grouping as well as buffs. You can also swap out Kazuha for Zhongli since he offers more protection, and the last time I checked, protection is key. Now for the final part of the video, my opinion. I'm one of the millions of people that are excited for Arlecchino, but I'm going to be super unbiased. I think that she's going to be an amazing DPS character. Her kit looks super fun and I like strong characters. Her blood debt mechanic as well as Bond of Life is kind of weird, but of course in a good way because it's something different. She looks like she's going to be one of the big 3 Pyro main DPS characters, which means she's going to be alongside the likes of Hu Tao and Lenny. It's kind of disappointing that she doesn't pair the best with Frina, but her current best team options are not bad at all. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, why not like, subscribe, and join my Discord down below. It literally costs you nothing to do that, and if you join the Discord server, you will be able to talk with a bunch of fun people, talk about Genshin, Honkai Star Rail, and so much more. We literally have a channel dedicated to helping people with anything they're currently suffering with in Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. So if you need any help, my Discord server is the place for you. It also takes 1 second to join. The link will be in the description and comment section for anyone who's interested. Thanks for watching. Bye.